So you want to start a business. It's one of the most exciting and, let's be honest, terrifying journeys you can take. Today, we're going to break down that path from just a little spark of an idea all the way to a company that's actually thriving. And we'll use some key lessons from people who've already walked the path. For so many people, right, the idea of building something that's truly yours is the ultimate goal. You think about the freedom, the chance to make something that really matters. It's a powerful dream. It's what fuels all that innovation and, a whole lot of late nights. But, okay, right alongside that amazing dream, we have to face a pretty tough number. You've probably heard this before, but it's so important it's worth saying again. 9 out of 10 startups fail. Now, look, that is not meant to scare you off. Not at all. It's meant to get us focused on the most important question. What is that one successful startup doing differently than the other 9? And the answer isn't just luck. It's about having the right method. This quote right here gets to the absolute heart of it. Success isn't about having a perfect plan from day one. It's about learning. It's about figuring out what people actually need and, crucially, what they're willing to pay for. And you've got to figure that out before the money runs out. So how do you even start that learning process? You're just staring at a blank page, right? You've got this great idea. Now, the old way of doing things was to disappear for months, maybe even years, building the perfect product in secret. The new, much smarter way is to build something called an MVP. An MVP, or minimum viable product, is basically your first experiment. And notice the key words here: maximum validated learning with the least effort. Its job isn't to be this final, super polished thing. No, its only job is to help you start learning from real people right away. I love this analogy. It's just perfect. Don't try to bake a giant 3-tiered wedding cake on your first try. Start with a single cupcake. See if anyone even wants it. Is the frosting right? Is it too sweet? Get real feedback on that simple, small thing first. This whole process is driven by a simple but really powerful repeating cycle. It's called the build, measure, learn loop. First, you build a small experiment. That's your MVP. Then you measure how people react to it. And finally, based on that data, you learn. And that learning leads you to a huge decision. Do you persevere and keep going, or do you pivot and change direction? And this right here is a massive mindset shift for a lot of new founders. In the very beginning, your goal is not to make a profit. Nope. It's to generate leads. A lead is just proof that someone is interested. Can you get someone to sign up for a newsletter or download a free guide? Because if you can't get them interested when it's free, you're never going to get them to pay. Okay, so you've validated your idea. You've proven that people are actually interested. Great. Now it's time to find your first real customers. So how do you break out of that echo chamber where it's just you and your friends who think your idea is cool? Building a customer base means you need a game plan. You can't just spray and pray and hope for the best. You got to focus. Go where your audience actually lives online. Create valuable content, like a blog post that solves a real problem for them. And please, build an email list from day one. It's one of the only direct lines to your customers that you will ever truly own. Getting a customer once, that's a victory, for sure. But a business that's built on just one-time sales is standing on really shaky ground. The next big challenge is turning that first sale into a second and a third, and hopefully a long-term relationship. So how do you make them stay? Well, it's all about making them feel seen and valued. Great service is just the price of entry. After that, you have to listen. I mean, really listen. Actively ask for feedback, and then, and this is the part people always forget, you have to act on it. Proving you're listening is one of the most powerful things you can do. So you've validated your idea, you're getting customers, they're sticking around, and now you're growing. This is the dream, right? Well, yes. But growth isn't some smooth, easy walk up a hill. It's more like a chaotic scramble up a mountain, and there's a whole new set of challenges waiting for you. As you get bigger, you face a completely new kind of problem. And notice how they're all connected. If your operations are inefficient, you burn through cash, which puts a huge strain on your finances. If you hire the wrong person, it slows everything down, which makes you vulnerable to all the new competition that your success attracted. You have to start seeing your business as one big, interconnected system. Look, along this whole journey, there are these classic traps that entrepreneurs fall into over and over and over again. Knowing what they are is the first and maybe most important step to avoiding them yourself. The number one mistake, the absolute biggest one, building something that nobody actually wants. It sounds so obvious, but it happens all the time. People fall in love with their own idea, and they forget to ask if anyone else on the planet actually cares. The fix is everything we talked about earlier. Validate, validate, validate. And then there's the other classic trap, the superhero founder. The one who tries to do every single thing themselves. That is a one-way ticket to burnout, and it puts a hard ceiling on how much your business can ever grow. You have to build a team, learn to let go, and find people who've been there before to guide you. All right, here's a super simple but really profound technique for solving problems. When something goes wrong, don't just put a Band-Aid on it. Ask why 5 times to get to the real root of the problem. Sales are down. Okay, why? The new ad campaign isn't working. Okay, but why? The messaging is wrong. By digging deeper like that, you stop fixing symptoms and you start creating real solutions. When you boil it all down, building a successful business isn't about having some perfect problem-free journey. It's really about getting good at solving a specific series of problems. First, you solve the validation problem. Then you solve the attraction problem. Then retention. And finally, the challenges that come with scale. So, we've laid out the map for this journey. Whether you're still just dreaming up an idea or you're already deep in the trenches, the only question that really matters now is the one on your screen. What's the first step on your journey?